And welcome to the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. We've had literally so much stuff happen this week. But first, let's get to our tech headline before we get to honestly one of the great personal accomplishments of SSA. So we did our offline face swap on Android. Hope you guys have heard about this application. Hope we haven't talked about this yet, but it's an application that finally brings offline face swapping to Android. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of having offline everything. You want to have the technology to have disadvantages of everything, and I think this application might be a good step forward for this because, as you guys know, everything's been transitioning towards uh, towards the cloud, towards data centers, towards everything, and it's really good to see some stuff just come right back home. So this is our article about offline face swap on Android. This is the application here. It's called Face Swap L, and it does a decent job. You can just read the write up here. Essentially, what you have to do, it even allows live face swapping. So you record the video live straight off the selfie camera. And the face swapping is okay, but it's not as good as some of the other online ones. Not as good as some of the AI ones they have on in the cloud. It is a bit faster, I would say. But it does not save as well. Sometimes the faces get merged. Everything looks kind of red. We already have a first chat in today. Hello, JC for life. She says, "quote Hey friend, I dropped in to show some support." Well, hello to you, JC for life. I'm glad that you could make the stream. I'm actually glad that someone's actually getting these notifications. I think we have about 250 subscribers. Thank you to all the new people who subscribed yesterday and over the weekend. Speaking of 250, of course, it is the United States military's 250th birthday. So congratulations to them. And maybe we'll tune in, see if anything happens. Right now, I just saw that they just started about 30 minutes before the podcast went live right now. So anyway, this is the offline face swap on Android. It has three options here. So you have face swap live, which I said allows you to face swap with what's showing on the camera. So kind of like Snapchat, but offline. Face swap video and face swap photo. Face swap video I have not tested that yet, but I can test it because I actually have this new AI thing that's out called Krea. We're going to get into that, and it has some really, really good AI image generation technology in there. I mean, it's really good, and it has AI video generation technology. I was able to play around with it. I mean, it did every prompt, okay, from the quote-unquote A- things that Grok would either. I mean, I don't even use Grok for image generation anymore. Okay, like even if it gets past the centuries, I mean, it's gonna look like a mangled bright light. Like, see how this weird background is? I have some type of weird filter that I uninstalled but didn't reinstall, didn't transfer over. Anyway, see how bright it is in here? This is what Grok image generation looks like. It's trash. But it complied with every prompt. Now, every prompt wasn't perfect, or every prompt wasn't good, but at least it complied with it. So unfortunately, of course, you have to pay $10 a month after you exhaust your free storage. But I can show you some temp images that I was able to generate last night. Pretty good technology coming out of Korea over there. Now, over back to the tech boy over here, AR metal detector. So this is really interesting here because augmented reality and metal detection are like some of my favorite things. Augmented reality, just because augmented reality is cool. You can do tours with it. You can do like put some 3D stuff in real space. I mean, that was really interesting back in 2016, 2017. That was like the thing back then. Even Lenovo made some phones just for dedicated for AR. They had the core AR. I'm really sad that they got rid of them. Even though those phones were huge. They're like the size of tablets when I was on that tour in Singapore. When they were doing like some type of tour or something like that. They gave us those phones to use. It's really, really interesting here. And metal detection, because as you guys know, at the SSA HQ, we always make sure that we metal detect each and every person that comes in and steps through for the door. Now, people haven't come in since like 5 years, except for like one time. So, it's a moot point there. But, when I was looking for my first phones and tablets, I was always looking for making sure that each of the phones had a magnetometer so I could metal detect them, because I didn't want to have to pay the extra $40 for a metal detector from Spynet, because I already paid them money when I bought my night vision goggles. I'm not going to keep paying them as well, especially since they kind of went out of business as I was coming up in the spy world. But I digress. A AR metal detector. This is really good because it's in a physics toolbox suite, which means that there are no ads and it's not going to track you or anything like this. But the physics toolbox suite is just an application that allows you to play with physics. That's what it does. It's an application that lets you use your phone sensors, your accelerometer, your light sensor, your magnetometer, to track changes in gravity, track changes in light, track changes in GPS, just all sorts of physics things. You can do all sorts of physics experiments. You can track how fast your elevator is going. You can see where you've been on a GPS map, see how strong your signal is. I think you even have maybe like a response time thing where we'll send out a sound. I think there's even some ultrasonic stuff in there. So it's a really, really full featured application as well. There's also another one of these called Firefox as well. But one of these things caught my eye, and I was looking at it, and it was like it said AR and it said Magna. So AR Magna, which combines augmented reality and the magnometer together to create a great option where you can just take your phone camera and you can just go like scan. And it will show up. Now, it is a bit inaccurate. It's not as accurate as some of the other metal detectors that I've played with, other metal detectors apps I've played with. But I mean, this is really interesting. It's really nice because you are actually getting to play with augmented reality and metal detection, and there's no ads in here. So I fully recommend this application. I mean, there's nothing to lose there at all. So yeah, really, really interesting application right there. All right, now. And the TechBoy media, they said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible. Christian Mond has got to be coping and seething right now. Once again, as you guys know, 2 weeks ago we had the whole MI6 episode where Christian Mond tried to incriminate me. MI6 because actually we don't know why. We just made stuff up. We just make stuff up. And then she had some of the absolute worst foreign policy advice of all time, which is essentially date your people. No, that's Christina Mond's foreign policy advice to everything. Which, I mean, honestly, SSA foreign policy has got to be the greatest, the best, most prosperous, most successful, most amazing foreign policy there's ever foreign policy in the history of foreign policy. As you guys know, GCAM foreign policy and foreign policy before that, which was essentially just, I don't know, Adventures in the Odyssey, Christianity is. I don't know what that. I don't know what that was. Yeah. Anyway, our foreign policy, MI6 foreign policy, which is a lot better than whatever Christina Mom is trying to cook up in here, which is essentially, hey guys, we should ally with smart, successful, popular people. Wow, breaking news, people. Breaking. Nah, really? Anyway, here it is. We did it. We absolutely did it. No thanks to Chrissy DeMond and her stupid little policy over here. Anyway, quote from the TechBoy Media: "We freaking did it. SSALTW. We actually did it. We went on an outing with my friends from work based on guess who. Octothorpe MI6 suggestion. I was doubting the efficacy of MI6 foreign policy. Blah 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 blah. But that's totally and completely irrelevant. We actually did it. What this has essentially been in the works since the outing, the GCAM outing back in, that didn't happen, but actually got precedent and successful, so it's still technically a quote unquote success for SSA. This was an actual success for SSA. We actually did it. We actually put it off, despite what all the haters would say. So once again, SSA LTW, greatest foreign policy of all time, greatest foreign policy win. Now, speaking of foreign policy win, speaking of high school geopolitics, we have got to talk about the greatest Adventures in Odyssey episode of all time, and it just came out this month. Here we have an article from the Odyssey Boy. Yes, the site's not dead. Here, Christian nationalist Emily Jones is president of Odyssey Middle School, and my goodness, what a good presidency is. The picture they plot is essentially SSA LTW in one 30-minute episode that spans across about one day in episode time. I mean, this is the most beautiful episode that has ever episoded in the history of Adventure in Odyssey. Every single thing that has happened in the SSALTW web universe and the SSALTW book universe actually happened. So here is the premise of this episode. It is not an imagination station adventure. It actually happened. Emily Jones is president of middle school, and Buddy, one of her friends, has intercepted intelligence, credible intelligence, which I like that they took this route. They actually basically reiterated that he stood there and he made sure he got the full context and he made sure everything was in context. Because, there are all these episodes in Adventure Odyssey where, the people do not have what it is in context. And then, Eugene ends up kidnapped by some jewel thief because he thought Jason was supposed to be investigating a jewel thief. And the whole lesson is never assume, never assume. They've done that like 5 times. No, they made sure you got it in context. So Buddy Norman intercepts credible intelligence that Emily Jones is under grave danger because who outfit might become attacked by people who are mad that she used her power as president of Odyssey Middle School to strike down their play and reinstate her friend Zoe's play. So it kind of appears that she's corrupt. We're going to find out why the plays have been switched in just a bit here. So Buddy Norman, he intercepts this intelligence and he tries to take it to President Jones, but due to past complications, he's reluctant to listen. Undeterred, he insists on serving her as her Secret Service agent and shadows her around the school. Yes. Do you guys remember when all the people, I should say, has protected here? Denver, Hazel, Sienna, all these people who we were protecting from one person, Molly and Val, mostly Molly's terrorism here. The credible threat is an active terror against Emily's clothes from yearbook photo day. Now, Emily is mad at Buddy kind of because he accidentally messed up her clothes, which is why they have to take a retake here. But she kind of brings it up. But the thing that when Buddy relays this intel, Emily dismisses this as implausible. Now, this may be implausible in, the real world now. This might be implausible in the SSA-LTW universe, which it really isn't. No one probably would have targeted President Addison in 2023 or President Geneva in 2024 or something like that. First of all, the presidents at Glory High didn't have that kind of power to just like, oh, guys, we're not going to have a play. Like, there was one play and it was going to happen no matter who the president was. They could have had a rock for president, they were still going to have that play. But I digress. So, in the SSA-LTW universe, this probably wouldn't happen. In the SSA-LTW book universe, obviously, this probably could have happened. But in the Odyssey universe, this is tame. Absolutely tame. Like, this has never happened to me, and I've been chased behind the woods, went to school twice, I've endured a chemical attack by perfume, I've hid under the bleachers, I crawled into the bleachers, I've been chased around, did fake number stuff, crash investigations, etc., everything. I've been chased up and down all across schools from 8th grade to 12th grade. But, like, no one's ever tried to ruin my picture there. But in the world of Odyssey, this makes no sense. Just a few episodes ago, the president and her allies were nearly suspended over some bizarre revenge plot to oust her dad from office. Yeah. So a few episodes ago, as you guys might remember, some random kid and her parents started targeting Emily from another school because they wanted to kick Emily's dad out of office. Yeah. But, someone trying to mess you up because they're mad they had a play? Nah. That's impossible. In this same universe, Moi and Suzu are potentially felons as they almost created World War III between China and Canada by stealing the maple leaf microfiche and wearing the poppy roses, which apparently China hates poppies. Emily was even impeached for crying out loud. This president has been locked in a room, an imagination station adventure, and essentially had her election stolen for, as you guys remember, Moy Rydell essentially pitted the two candidates against each other so that she would win as a third-party candidate. She's tracked down blackmailers using IP GPS addresses. She's actually, before she got elected, thwarted some grade-changing schemes. But like, oh, someone wants to mess up her blouse? Well, that's too movie-like for me. Nah, that can't happen. Like, this person has gone from stopping World War III to tracing phones, but no, someone wants to mess up her blouse? Like, she's been impeached, someone wants to mess up her blouse? Nah, that can't happen. Yeah, honestly, it's far-fetched that she considers this to be far-fetched. In the episode, Betty follows Emily as her Secret Service agent. They duck into a closet and discover someone tried to sabotage him with mustard. Only then they fetch a teacher, but the evidence has vanished. Oddly, Emily, the president and the detective, has not taken any photos or used her audio diary like she does all the time. She's always taking photos of evidence. She's always taking recording notes, as you guys remember from the Rydell revelations. But I digress, whatever. The president emerges with a security detail and Carrie asks Emily if Buddy are dating, prompting Emily to shoo him away. Cue the SSA-LTW was proven right song. SSA was proven right. Riz can be and will be used to fight. Guys, I think this is the first ever mention of a crush attack ever happening in the history of evangelical teen media other than SSA LTW. Yes, SSA was proven right. Riz can be used to fight. Carrie accuses Buddy and Emily of dating, and Emily kicks him out. And Buddy learns from a teacher that Carrie is an affected student, and she was going to be the lead in the play that uh, uh, was going to happen. Yes, folks, Adventure Odyssey acknowledges a crush attack. Carrie tried to use fake crush rumors to destroy Emily and her security team. Who could imagine that happening? Ninth grade. Anyway, let's play clip 2.
Emily, we need to leave.
Buddy!
Okay, look, Carrie is in on this.
What?
She called us a couple because she knew you'd be embarrassed and send me away, leaving you wide open for an attack.
Honestly, might be the greatest, just greatest line of script writing in the history of script writing. Yes, it is straight out of SSA's book, Blondegate, which, may I remind you, is fake and is not a real thing, and it's not based on anything. Okay, there's no Blondegate, as much as this would have been funny, did not happen. So, Chrissy, shut up. Anyway, back to this thing. Straight out of SSA's LTW's book, Blondegate, based on the 2023 Hazel investigation, where SSA investigates someone else for an alleged crush on Hazel 1.0. Why the 9th grade war from the SSA LTW website, where 9th graders tried to spark conflict between SSA and GCAM, threatening global security. Or the 2019 Nika doctrine from SSA LTW at Liberty Prep. Yes, Adventures in Odyssey wove this into a real story. Just as Buddy relays this to the president, Carrie strikes with ketchup, aiming at Emily but missing. Which is just really weird, and this comes from the weirdest scene of the episode here, where the president, her security detail, and like half the lunchroom apparently start chasing her around. So that doesn't happen in school often, most of the time. Okay, look, when I got chased, it was doing outside. It wasn't like I just got up and like half the lunchroom started running after me, and the teacher just, well, you know, this happens every day at this school. No, it doesn't happen. And this is a public school too, so it's like 600, maybe 700, 1,000 kids there. I mean, it's a small town, so the small towns usually have bigger schools because you know it's the only school in the town. Thousands of kids running around. No, what do you think? How? Emily, her security detail, Carrie, and the two people who were planning the attack, besides anyone, maybe their dogs and their cats wanted to run with them too. This makes no sense. Why? How did this even happen? Anyway, they chase him outside, and they get into a bike, and they bike off to the theater. Which then again, like, how big is the school where you can bike from one room to another? I mean, my school. I mean, it's a one room or one building schoolhouse. Okay, it's not like you could just bike from one room to another. Anyway, these people are chasing them around like this. They're like storming the field after Vanderbilt beat Bama. Okay, which unfortunate. I don't know how or why, but everybody speed away, sneak back into the theater and hide under the floorboards. Carrie and her crew search, but they can't find him in a heart-to-heart. But he swears allegiance to the duly elected president of Odyssey Middle School, confessing he wants to write a pass on. But Emily drops a bombshell that this is the reason that she canceled the play. She used the full power of the student government to cancel the opposing play because it had anti-Christian themes. Yes, Emily Marry Me Jones actually canceled a school play on the basis of religion, which is utterly insane. I mean, I fully stand by Emily Jones, but President Jones, actually. I fully stand by the president, but I mean, this is this is what the people thought I was going to do in 2022. You're like, hey, are you going to just like enforce your religion on school grounds? Or like, hey guys, are you going to ban like all these things on school grounds? This is what they thought they were going to do, and Adventure Odyssey said, yes, President Jones, this is what she's going to do. She went full Christian nationalist and actually got away with it. It's like the 2022 energized election of CLTW, despite relentless trouble chases through the school and extreme political opposition. Emily does the right thing. Buddy then marches into the gym where he defends against the final attack where they try to assault her with glitter. Which, again, this doesn't really make sense. Like, she's not going to be a recall election. She is the Teflon Emily. Okay, look, people have targeted her to try to get her dad unelected, kicked out of office, right? Impeached, I don't know. And it didn't work. She got impeached. She got reinstated. What, you think dumping glitter on her and messing up a photo is going to stun Emily Jones? Emily Jones has been through a lot. Emily Jones does not back down. She does not give up. Emily Jones is her. Okay? Just like Zoe 101 from Zoe 101, who unfortunately she did drop out. But if she didn't drop out, Emily Jones and Zoe, I don't know if Zoe has a last name, and Zoe are her. They are her. Anyway, this episode, greatest episode of all time. You have a chase, just like an SSLTW from 2018, 2019, and 2024. Crush Rumors, 2019, 2024, and an SSLTW book. The student president is under fire and getting quote-unquote assassinated, which is from the SSLTW book. And the student council, school president under fire, whatever. SSLTW 2022, 23 through 24. And an evangelical president who didn't get elected, but Emily did here. And she stuck to her morals, stuck to her faith. Evangelical president, SSLTW, enact this to 2022. And so much more. This episode is shocking and awe-inspiring. This episode left me in shock and awe. And I mean, honestly, I think Adventure Odyssey had accomplished their mission on that one. Absolutely amazing from Adventure Odyssey coming out of there. And speaking of elections, SSA, the SSA wing of the TechBoy, has actually announced top secret technology here that we're about to show here on the screen. I had Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini, all of them together, had to make this dang thing. Oh, and Grok, I think Grok helped a little bit too, which it created this nice election simulator here. I've always wanted to simulate a high school election, and for some reason, that area of technology has not been created yet. So here is the first look at the neural election simulator, SSLTW election student high school council election simulator here. So guys, are you ready? So this simulator runs in HTML and JavaScript, but as you guys know, I am not a fan of web applications, so this will be this is the first time that you are seeing this. This will be hosted on TheTechBoy.org and on SSLTW's websites, but the code will be publicly accessible, and right now it is just running off a file. So it is completely and totally offline here. So let's actually simulate the Glory High election here. What you're going to do is you're going to input your student population, grades 9 through 12, and you're going to guess your voter turnout. I think the voter turnout there was like, I don't know, 50 out of 53. I'm just going to say like 95% there. Okay, and then I'm going to say it's about 10 each, about maybe like, let's just say 12. I know 12th grade had 10. All right. Let's say, oh no, 11th grade. Yeah, 15. And I'm going to say 12 here again. I don't know how many that is. I'm not going to add that up in hand. And then we're going to do a detailed, this is actually do a quantum simulation here. 10,000 simulation runs, 8% variance factor. We have 49 students. So we're actually going to add a few more in here. So 13. There we go. So we have 51 total students, about give or take a few, and 48 projected voters here. And you can add your candidates here, but we don't need to. So all we need to do is we're going to put in Vera, then we're going to put in Allison, and then we're going to put in Ethan Shea. And then we're going to, you put in your grade percentages of how much you have to do your own polling, of how popular they are in each grade. So essentially, if President Allison here was 50% popular in, say, the 9th grade, that would mean about 7 students would have voted for, right? So that's essentially what the popularity thing is, and they all have to add up to 100% per grade. Okay, that was really hard to explain to ChatGPT, so I'm just gonna put in some numbers here. Okay, like I said, I honestly did not know what Vera's path to victory would be. I didn't really see one there. So let's 9th grade. Ethan, like I said, the most pro 9th grade candidates. We're just gonna say 55. We're gonna say 35, and then we're gonna say, I think it's 15. Okay, let's just make that 30. There we go. And then for 10, for a 10th grade, you're gonna put in your percentages again. Vera, I mean, let's just go back to 11th grade. That's her home grade. So I'm gonna give her like, I'm gonna give her 35%. That's her home grade. I'm gonna keep the numbers here for 25, and then I'm gonna put 40 here. All right, and then let's go back to 10. I don't know what should we put here. 20%. I'm not. Yeah, I'll give 20% there. All right. 10th grade. I'm gonna give myself 15%, and then Allison will get the rest. Oh wait, no. I'm actually gonna flip these numbers, so it's gonna make it 20 here, 15 there, and 65 there. All right, and now into grade 12, 12th grade. I'm gonna give myself, this is really easy because it's only 10, 80%. Yeah, 10, 10. All right, actually, let's make this 70%. And then make President Allison at 20%. There we go. So once everything is good, you will see no errors here on the screen. You're gonna click Execute Simulation. And it says that, oh wow, look at these charts here. President Allison with the 50.49% possibility of winning here with 48 votes cast. The simulator projects that President Allison has a 50% chance of winning here with an average margin of victory of 2. Impressive here. I mean, look at this analysis. Look how high tech it is. Look at the screens. Look at the. I mean, this is amazing. Let's look here. So President Allison here is in the pink. You got President Vera and Ethan here. So it says Allison would gain about 13 average votes here in the simulation. Ethan would gain 13 votes. That's about 26, and then Vera would gain what's that, 4? About 4 votes there as well. It also projects that, oh dang, Vera has no shot. At least it says Allison at 50%, Ethan at 21%. The heck is the other 30%? Like what? I was saying there's a better chance that Ale wins than Vera does? Dang. And you can see a grade level breakdown here. As well, based on the specific demographics, you can hover over to see what you see here. So it thinks that in grade 10, Allison will get about 8 votes. Ethan will get about 2. And sorry, Vera, you get nothing. And here's the convergence factor here. Margin of victory. Ran 100,000 simulations here. And you can just go into all these here. So essentially it says the average votes that each candidate receive is 4, 14, and 13 here. The vote range, win rate, which is really interesting. That, and oh my gosh, we actually have the number 27% there. As you guys know, 27 was the estimated win number, 27 to win. And actually did the percentages pretty well, pretty accurate. You can even see a graph here. So really interesting simulator here. Let's actually do. Let's see what, and you can even play with the numbers. So let's see what we can do to get Vera. Let's see what we can do to get Vera's numbers up. Let's say she's at actually 85% here. Make this 15, and poor Allison gets nothing. All right, execute the simulation, and we will see. I was having some problems that the simulation will just give the same results over and over again. Once again, actually changed it here, and you see that President Vera has been elected. This daily decision desk HQ has projected that Vera has an 86.64% chance to win the Great Toro College at an average vote margin of 3. Ethan. That's a 1% chance of winning the election. Allison at 2. Vera bringing in 12 votes to Allison's 10 to Ethan's 8. With a margin of victory of 2. So really interesting technology coming out of the TechBoy Media Labs here, and that's what happens when you have AI in unlimited time. So that is our electoral processing software. Now we got to talk about teenagers. We'll get back to our SSLTW segment here, but we've got to talk about teenagers. I think it's really interesting how we see in teen media, there's this television show, I think we all talked about this, where, some of the teens are using, cordless phones, not cell phones, but they're all getting their own landlines that kind of phase out too as well. But this is a great show called Ant Farm on Disney Plus. I have Disney Plus. It's amazing. It's amazing. I know people hate Disney. I know they like to hate on Disney. No, Disney Plus might be the greatest streaming service of all time. Yeah. Ant Farm. What an amazing show. It's such a great show. I mean, it's amazing. Awe-inspiring, even. So essentially the synopsis is that you have these super smart, super talented kids in this program called the Ant Program. They're about 10, 11 years old. And this links into technology somehow, but they're like super smart geniuses. They each have their own talents. The main character's name is China, spelled with the Y for some reason, Chyna, which led me down the rabbit hole of looking up people who's named their child after like places, which is really interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't name my hypothetical child that I don't want China. But in this hypothetical, I wouldn't name it China. I mean, some names just work out better than others. Like Brooklyn, Paris, even America, Israel. But those are actual names, like from the Bible. Other than America, obviously. That just works better than some names like China. India is one of the names on the list. Like, well, what's next? Do people want to name your children France, Italy, Vietnam, Germany? Like, are you guys gonna just name them after random countries? I mean, some countries just sound better as names than others. I mean, you don't see many Canadas walking around here. I mean, do you? I mean, I think it's named after the state. I mean, Tex, Dakota. I mean, that's better than naming your child like Mexico or something. Anyway, but I digress. Anyway, see, there's this main character named China, and she has her two friends. And China's musical talent is her talent, sorry, to get her into the Ant Farm program, which allows her to go into high school, is music. There's another friend named Olive. She's the main character. Where's she on the screen? Here she is. Here she's 11. So 11. And she is really smart. She has eidetic memory, so she remembers everything that she hears. And then this kid here, Angus, I believe his name is, other than being able to eat a lot, is skilled with computers. And this kid here is what is his skill? Oh, art, like really, really good at art. I mean, he has full-scale portraits and of like regular painting and wax portraits of China. Such a weird crush. But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that is the synopsis of the show. And they're in a normal high school, so they're interacting with like 15, 16-year-olds all the time. They're like 11. So that's the synopsis of the show. You may be thinking, well, why are you watching a show about like 10-year-olds in high school? Because this show is so great. It's amazing. It is amazing because of the one person I haven't mentioned to. Actually, two. Here we have Lexi here, who is so smart. My gosh. And Paisley, who has the IQ of Moss. She's Lexi's best friend. Which yeah. And this is a great, amazing show. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Paisley here. So this is Paisley, who, I mean, honestly, she was cooked from the minute she was born. Who names their child Paisley? Find a better name. I mean, honestly, China's a better name than Paisley. But anyway, here's Paisley. She has a 40 IQ. Unironically, 40 IQ. I mean, she is so dumb. She is so dumb. I mean, there is nothing in her brain. Absolutely nothing. I mean, just air is floating up there in her brain. I'm trying to think of something that's of the quotes here. Of the smarter friend, and by smart I mean like way smarter. Evil genius Lexi over here. She is actually smart. I'm actually glad that this show, and this is why the show is so great. This is what makes the show so great. She's an actually smart, evil person. Well, she's not evil, but she's like manipulative, conniving. She's always scheming. And, you know, she's actually smart. For some reason, she views China as a threat. I wouldn't, in this universe, view China as a threat. But She does, and she takes her out. And sometimes, China will get her back. But I mean, she she's relentless. She ran for student council and won. She tricked China into running for student council as the ant representative, and she tricked Olive into running for it. And the entire premise of the episode is that they both don't want to win, because if you win ant representative, uh, you will then get shot into a cannon or something like that. Oh no, that was Olive who tricked her into it, but they both tried not to win. But anyway, the truth of the matter is Lexi is actually smart. She she comes up with plans, and it actually and some of them actually work out well. Um, Let me see if I can see what I have a list of some of the plans here. Uh, she wants to, and this plan doesn't initially work out because the teacher's a dummy, but uh, Lexi tricks the main character into losing her voice via cheerleading and bullies her at her party. She pretends to break arms and legs so she can get more attention than Paisley. She's able to, despite being an evil, conniving little genius, hold the attention and captivate the school into liking her. And she's able to counter China. She's able to oppose the ants. She's able to even force China to oppose this new ant who is. Uh, she's able to oppose China to force this new ant who's actually kind of a bully towards Lexi. So you might think that they might ally towards her, but no. Lexi uses her power and her intelligence to essentially force what she wants. Now, am I condoning this? No. She's the evil little, quote, blonde, uh, manipulative mean girl. And those are in her own words, essentially. But my gosh, is she a smart, blonde, manipulative, mean girl? And, like I was saying about that girl and how to be popular, I don't condone everything that she did. She probably shouldn't have spied on Jason and lied to all those people. But, I mean, she had a plan, she sought action, and she executed. And Lexi does that perfectly, despite all the pressure around her, despite all the little ants that are scurrying around the school. Despite all these random people, China has a brother who's absolutely incompetent, who keep trying to flirt with her and date her. Oh, here's one. Yes, the principal loses her cell phone, and they find it, and they're trying to essentially return it to get better money, so, reward money, right? And this kid who was flirting with her, China's brother, she calls the phone, and he's standing right next to her, and he answers the phone. Actually, his dad, who's a police officer, answers the phone. This is the kind of stupidity that Lexi has to put up with around her, and that's not mention Paisley over here, who has the IQ of a literal ant. Okay, like Paisley, her number one saying to Paisley is "Shut up, Paisley," and Paisley deserves it. Okay, like so someone asked her some question on like some quiz show that she and Oliver was forced to be on, and she was like, "What is cotton candy?" And that's the only thing that's in her brain. I mean, she was trying to wrap some Christmas paper one time, and she couldn't wrap it, so she wrapped herself in it and put herself under the tree. She does not get context clues at all. Paisley is dumb. And poor Lexi has to put up with this and all these little ants running around so that she can enact her evil plans. And oh my gosh, is she competent. Even the principal, who tries to ignore all the students and is the most corrupt principal in the history of principals. I mean, she should be in federal prison right now, acknowledges and respects Lexi's power. She acknowledges that Lexi is the most powerful person in the school, the most popular person in the school. And should a threat like this ever arise to SSA, we must be ready. We must be prepared. And yes, I am vlogging here, I guess. Look, no matter who our allies are, no matter what, we must always retain power. Because should someone who is like Lexi, but not, try to influence SSA, that could be disastrous. And that is why we will never surrender. That is why we will never give up. And that is why Ant Farm might actually be the greatest show on television. Now, to tie this back to tech, because this is still technically a tech podcast, they are all using iPads, AntPads, in the episodes. It's really interesting because the show was taped in 2011 to 2013. It's really interesting because you can see them, you all using the tablets and stuff, which, like, now we kind of like to see some of the trends in sitcoms, they're getting their own tablets. And, tablets was kind of a boom back then. So I want you guys all to vote and go in here. Who wins, the Tech Boy or Lexi? Absolutely amazing. And probably one of the greatest characters on TV. Now let's get back to here. Let's talk about the corruption of this principal in Ant Farm. I mean, she is corrupt. Oh my gosh, is she corrupt? So I was actually let me see if I can pull up the notes here. I was tracing the show because she was corrupt. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So the only person maybe even more corrupt, maybe even more conniving than our ally Lexi. I mean, she's essentially me. I am Lexi, and Lexi's me, except I'm not evil. All right, here we go. So here is some things that just in season 1, I haven't even finished season 1, what the principal has done here. She has destroyed her phone for replacement after she got the phone back. She like steps on it and kicks it so she can get a new replacement. She forces one of the students to commission personal artwork so she can go date this random congressman or town councilman who is revealed to be about 105 years old because she tries to become friends with his daughter, who she thinks, and the amazing Lexi understands this perfectly. Where Lexi is essentially trying to quote unquote help the principal become cool with the kids because the principal wants to date. Sorry, whoops. The principal wants to become friends with the congressman's, senators, whatever, politician's daughter. And the daughter's about 80 years old. And she's like 1925. The show was taped in 2011. You do the math. Which means her father, who presumably is still alive, is like 105 years old and still on the student council. And anyway, she forces the student to commission personal artwork of her for doing this. She launders money for a chicken wing eating club. So this chicken wing eating club is essentially thought up for or by these students. Who it was a feed the hungry club, right? And it's just they're feeding themselves money. And somehow they got it approved by the principal, and they get enough money to order like a whole tub of chicken wings. And the principal finds out about it. She joins the club and requisitions federal funds so that they can all eat chicken wings together. Absolutely ridiculous. And one of the main characters on the show is a police officer, China's dad. Why has he not locked her up yet? And I'm still not done yet. She fires the school nurse for no reason. She pays for a horse to ride into a town council meeting, and they all ask her why she paid for a horse for exactly like she's wasting school money here. And this school apparently in one episode can't even afford a clock or cars to drive for driver's ed, so they have to drive 5-mile-an-hour little electric cars that no one can fit in, even Paisley. And Paisley, she gets quote unquote ticketed because she, I don't know, ran a red light or something, sped. But then she cries her way out of it. And then the boy, who's useless and incompetent, is just a comedic relief character, he does the same thing. And they actually get a ticket because this school is so poor because of the money laundering and the ANT program that they actually have to use the tickets to pay for a new clock. Absolutely ridiculous. She tries to get a non-English speaking Japanese swimmer so that they can win some sports award. And she will, I guess, tamper with his record so he doesn't have to pass English to graduate high school. She forces students to make dresses for her? What? I don't remember that. Oh, but she did force Olive to become a new teacher. Let's remember, Olive is 11 years old. She forces her to become a teacher. Um, she stole money, or I guess laundered money that was supposed to go to the school so she could get an eye lift. She makes kids step on grapes for juices. The meat is made out of armadillos. She forces kids to make Jack in the Boxes for profit under guise of donating these toys for helping. And once again, she forces Lexi to give her a cool lesson. I mean, that is 10 things that this corrupt principal has done. How she's not in jail, I will never know. She should be in jail. The keys should be thrown away, locked up. And she's like 80 years old, so she'll die in there for 2 years anyway, so. Whatever. All right, iOS 26. Oh my gosh. Who did this? Here, let's have a nice laugh at iOS 26 from Apple. Well, Apple elevates the iPhone experience with iOS 26. And Lexley wouldn't have come up with something like that. No, sir. The release delivers a stunningly designed, powerful Apple Intelligence capabilities, new ways to stay connected in the phone and messages apps, which is really sad that this is a system-wide update. And they're yapping about updates to the one app that no one has ever opened, the phone app. Like, no one uses that. And Apple Music, Maps, and Wallet. Oh, so you look at this, and you're like, okay, look. So you finally got backgrounds in your text messages. Welcome to the 21st century, Apple. Glad to have you here. But for some reason, they sync across devices. So if you set your background, apparently, you also set the same background to someone else's background. Unlike if I would have set my in Google Messages, which is a horrible messaging application, so whatever. But I can at least change my chat colors to like pink hue, and at least in Samsung Messages, you used to be able to change the background. So 0.1 for Apple there because Samsung is incompetent. All right. Not Samsung, Google is incompetent. Anyway, then you have this whole glass design. This looks fine, okay, right? How is anyone supposed to see this? Reddit Lies actually replied to me. Also, why is it so long? Like, why is it so stretched out and long like this? Anyway, Reddit Lies actually replied to me. He was like, yeah, I wanted to develop a beta, and it is unreadable. I'm like, who approved this at Apple? Like, this is an Android type thing. Like, if you want your phone to look like that, you can. But, like, Apple put this out on their own messaging. You can't see that. And that is on a relatively dark background. The account I Hate Apple posted this with, like, some type of, like, bright anime background. The text in the icons are unreadable. I mean, it's insane. Why? And also, why is this so pink? Like, so, like, super bright pinkish red here as well. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous looking. The quote unquote beautiful new design. I mean, this is horrible looking. I mean, how? Who approved this? I mean, you can see straight through the camera. Like this phone. Oh my goodness! I almost forgot about this. Oh man, thank you for reminding me. Yes, this phone, as bad as this is, as bad as the software is, it is not as bad as this. As this phone. I mean, even Paisley wouldn't buy this phone. Paisley would be like, heck no. Let me show you this phone here. I'm actually going to show you what I posted about it first. So this is some advertising from this phone. I want you to guess how much it costs. This phone is safe from porn, social media, games, and doom scrolling. When use as designated without additional apps. You know whose also phone is safe from porn, social media, games, and doom scrolling? This one. A fully featured Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Because, guys, if you don't look up illicit material, you won't get illicit material. I know this is hard for some of you people to comprehend, but it's this. And these absolute morons want to charge $399 for a dang Samsung A15 and have the absolute audacity to charge you a subscription to download some vetted apps on a dang Android phone. These people would have not made it in the 2007. This is the Wise phone here. Absolute ridiculous. I mean, I don't care. Anyone who buys this phone should not be allowed to vote. They just shouldn't. Look, maybe you need like a literacy test or an IQ test to vote or something. Like they don't have those now, but like the IQ test to be, if you bring this thing and you buy it for $400, you can actually find the A15 for $40. So this phone is 10 times as much as it's actually worth. This phone is an IQ test. Anyone who pays $400 for this absolute piece of junk phone does not deserve to vote. You know, everyone's like, oh, well, you know, the free market will decide. The free market. Yeah, well, the free market should take its invisible hand and punch the people who created this phone in the face. What? The invisible hand should just punch anyone who touches this phone. I mean, this is ridiculous. A $400 phone that has nothing on it. And then they have the audacity to charge you money for apps. They charge you money to download apps. Great apps like the Compass app. And like, literally, what apps? What apps are you going to be installing on here? Since they have to quote unquote block porn or whatever, it's the browser is gone. There's no social media. There's no games. Okay, what else are you going to do on the phone? Here are the quote unquote features. So it's just the A15 specs. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention this. The maps, you know, like Google Maps is free. A whole bunch of map applications are free. They charge you a subscription for their trash operating system on their trash phone that's 10 times overpriced to use a map. So let's cross this off. So you just bought this phone for $400, but you don't want to buy any additional features, which is ridiculous. Like, if you have $400 to spend on a piece of junk like this, why? And you have to pay for a subscription to keep this working? So you're essentially paying for a worse phone so you have a quote-unquote better life. Have some discipline. My gosh. But some of these people are like, awesome experience. My time on my smartphone is dramatically reduced. Nah, really? It does nothing. Absolute nothing. It's just be a flip phone. This phone is not a blessing from the Lord. It's a legitimate scam. Okay. This phone costs $40. Okay, you can probably get them like in bulk. You can buy them off of eBay. These people flash their own trash OS on it that since he does nothing, and then they have the audacity to charge you $400 for it. They were even saying that this phone like was great for teenagers, which is even dumber because like, A, it was like, oh guys, it looks like a smartphone. See, the kids aren't going to teach you. Yes, they will. And B, when someone tries to send you a link, they're like, hey, just download this app, scan a QR. Oh, what's that? Oh, your phone can't do that? Oh, okay. So you have that phone, the Bark phone, or the kid phone, right? Wait, what's that? Your phone costs $400? You can buy 5 of these. You could give your entire family of phones. Open box. Oh, wow. They take $20 off out the goodness of their heart. So they give you these apps when you have to, once again, pay a subscription to download. I'm surprised they give you the Spotify. Oh yeah, and here's their carrier service. Guys, get ready to see these prices. So after you paid them $400, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. If you paid them that money. So if you want to use them as an MNVO, here you go. $25 a month for a gig of data. Which is horrible. Well, I can see the point. Because, like, what are you even going to use the data on? I mean, if you have to pay for maps, like, music streaming does not take that much. What? You don't have a browser, you don't have social media, you don't have videos, and it's just an Android phone. So, I mean, you could just sideload all these apps on here, so. But still, $25 for a gig. Just buy a prepaid SIM for crying out loud. Just buy $10 SIM, pop it in, and you have the unlimited data plan, $69.99 unlimited data. It was actually that's pretty good. Until you realize there was no freaking way that this phone is going to even need unlimited data. Not there is no way this phone is going to use more than 5 gigs of data a month. Well, I mean, maybe like 10, but I mean, like what? The weather app and Venmo are not going to be using 10 gigs of data. Okay, you're not going to. You can't even stream video. You can't live stream. You can't like. You'd have to be on the phone 24/7 on like Teams or Zoom or something like this. There's no way that you're going to break the data cap. This is a honestly. I don't care. Republican or Democrat. You buy this phone. You don't get to vote. You just don't get to vote for 10 years. So if it changes how Congress looks, so be it. But any idiot that buys this phone does not get to vote. They shouldn't be able to vote in the presidential election. They shouldn't be able to vote in a they shouldn't be able to vote in a local election. They shouldn't be able to run for anything. They shouldn't be able to vote for mayor. They shouldn't be able to vote for governor. They shouldn't even be able to vote for dog catcher. Anyone with this amount of financial literacy shouldn't be able to. I mean, they should just be like forcibly sent back to school. There is no way, not a single reason, anyone on the face of the earth, on the face of the planet, to buy this phone. I mean, the light phone, and I hate having the light phone is less of a scam than this. I mean, at least you gotta. These people, at least the light phone makes their own phones. They were talking about how the light phone, lasts long, lasts you 5-10 years, which I mean, sure, but like literally no one will be using the light phone 10 years from now. I mean, the phone is trash. It came out. Okay, if you think people are going to be sitting around typing on that e-ink screen in the year of our Lord 2037, I have a Wise Phone 2 to sell you. But I mean, these people just take a $50 phone that you can buy from Best Buy, Walmart, HEB, Kroger, the drugstore down the street. Probably find it lying on the side of the road somewhere. I mean, this is a phone that you can buy in a box. I mean, this is the modern day boner phone. They take this $50 phone, they charge 10 times the price, and they take 90% of the features off. And then if you want to add features, so you only have 85% less features, they charge you money for it. This shouldn't be legal. Like, I'm as free market as the next guy. I'm as patriotic as the next guy. I'm as capitalistic as the next guy. I'm sorry, but like, this should not be legal. There is no reason this phone should exist. None at all. And it's the Wise Phone 2. Like, what was the one? Seriously, what was the one? Was it the first Android phone and you just like uninstalled the browser? Like, these people, they like go around. Full well the CEO of Wise Phone is not using a dang Wise Phone. Okay, these people, they're trying to hit every niche. Oh, guys, internet bad. They're trying to hit the guys. Porn is bad, which it is. But like, they're trying to hit that as a target. Okay, it's advertising right there. I mean, these people could probably afford college because all the people who bought this phone. I mean, this is worse than the Freedom phone. I mean, at least the Freedom phone, even though it came from like China and it was like 3 times overpriced, was an actual phone that you could actually buy and actually worked. It did phone things. This one, woo, and that is disgusting. I am appalled. I don't get disgusted much, but I am appalled. Yeah, Bing is actually relevant. Bing Video Creator, which is a new application here. So this was actually released, I think, last month. Here's the Bing Video Creator. So let's turn to the screen here. You just have to download the Bing app. So unfortunately, you have to download that trash app. I mean, at least you have the privilege of being able to download it. At least you can if you want to. Here it is, a video of what Bing Image Video Generator can do. And I'm actually going to switch back over to Kreia so I can show you a video of Ava Harper. Haven't face swapped yet, but when she is. Yeah, that's it. It's also kind of ironic that this phone that they're doing is putting this on YouTube, but it's really interesting here. Great from being actually beating Google to the punch. At least in the free spirit here. I was remember thinking like in 2022, like is Bing ever going to be relevant? Well, looks like it's trying to become relevant. Maybe I even try out the image generation technology that they're showing off as well. The Gemini doing pretty well, doing pretty well. Actually saw some ads today. They're playing like before the movie trailers. I saw some ads today of Google was actually advertising its new AI mode. So that's really interesting stuff coming out there as well. So the AI wars are coming up, and like I said, this is the golden age of AI. There will truly not be any other time like it because you have all this venture capital, all this investment, all this money that's going into artificial intelligence. Everyone's trying to see what works. It's the big thing. It's the big bubble. But it will break one day. I mean, ChatGPT has to break even. Microsoft, Google, they have money to burn, but it's not infinite. They will start trying to monetize, and Gemini's already start trying to monetize, right? I can only send about 10 messages a day, maybe 10 image generations a day, and that's it. Create AI. I was able to play with it, maybe get about 10 images out of it. Now they want me to pay $10 a month. Grok, of course, had to be watered down to use the trash image generation model, which looks absolutely horrendous. Because so many people were using it. It was so good. It just it's the golden age of AI. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Use it now. It's really nice, and hopefully we can transition all this stuff to become offline. Maybe we'll see more computers with like 164, 128 gigabytes of not just storage but RAM. But here we are. I'm going to show off Create AI. Okay, let me see if I can. Like some of these prompts, deleted, but they didn't. That's really interesting here. So here is Create AI here. Prompt: a gorgeous 19-year-old woman wearing a tight dress, square cut neckline. So this is I've utilized over 90% of my compute time here. But here is so this is the prompt. You have to type it in. You have your Create AI. The image is pretty good. You guys can see this on the screen, right? No, you can't. There we go. So this is from Create AI. Look how good the hair is and the bouquet blue. It did every prompt that I wanted it to do. Let's see if I can pull up some more here. I mean, you see it has 2 arms, not 3, not 1. It conforms well to the prompt. I wouldn't call it a square cut, but it's fine, whatever. The fingering, it looks good. Like this kind of looks fake a little bit. Like no one's saying it's really like that as well, but it looks perfectly good to me here on the screen here in Create AI. All I did was create an account, and I was able to generate about 20 images out of that as well. Golden age of AI. I'm going to see if I can pull up the video. I was even able to do some prompts that Photoleap might not appreciate. Let me see if I can find it here on the screen. Photoleap had a hard time with Bandu tops that clicked off its filtering things here. Unfortunately, the only thing here that hasn't been done is the face swapping. So this isn't Ava yet until we put in the face swapping, which I will do after this. But Bandu tops, distressed jean shorts. It just did such a great job with this. I mean, it did every clothing item that I threw at it. And I've used all my credits, so we cannot do a live demo right now, unfortunately. And it even did well on the video here. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen. Oh, there we go. Yep, so now it's full screen. This is, unfortunately, it did not do a background. It took about, I don't know, 3 minutes to generate here. Hope you guys can see this, right? There we go. But that's pretty good. I mean, it looks realistic enough to me. Of course, I wouldn't believe this. I was like, I don't believe anything that you see on the internet. But unfortunately, her face is down, so it might be a bit hard to swap. but it did the prompt well. The hair is waving. Let me see if I can back up here. You can actually see she's actually walking here, and it looks. I mean, I don't know who sways like that, but I mean, it's just gonna be for an Instagram reel, so it's gonna be pretty good. So Cray AI, and only $10 a month. Only $10 a month. W for Cray AI there as well. It's only $120. I'm not gonna pay for it, but I can keep creating new accounts if I want to. Absolutely amazing. W from Cray AI. Let's see what else we have here. Oh yes, and finally for our final SSA LTW thing here, we finally did the what if thing, the first 4 what ifs. I'm going to share this on the sound. So, as you guys know, this LTW series explores many stories and sagas, and in the book, we uncover what would happen if the school had more resources and students, radically changing the narrative. As you guys know, there's an election rally attack. There's a lot more students. We have the type of software that we just showed off. But what if someone ran for president next year? We essentially say she's cooked. It doesn't really make sense for someone to run for president. I've really been thinking about this. In the SSA LTW universe, right? One of the key questions here is like, what if SSA, as you guys know, we didn't really back Summer that much. We backed her from it's Damien and stuff like that, but like we didn't really back her because we were scared, probably correctly, of the backlash, and we didn't want to start off Crush War 3. I think that's one of the questions in here. And we were talking about how Summer's influence kind of rapidly declined, especially after she joined GCAM. After she joined GCAM. So essentially, tied SSA Summer integration could have led to a faster war, with Damien's Great Chase occurring in January instead of February, potentially sparking Quest War 3 of 9th grade. However, the veracity of intel probably would have been suspect, seen the Watergate incident with Maria and Summer knowingly passed fake information to SSA HQ. All right. So the key question is, like, what if SSA had actually allied with Summer more? Could Summer have ever become president? But if SSA just like truly took everything into the backing, like we were saying, SSA was the global hegemon, right? The most powerful agency in the school. And my answer may shock you. No, she wasn't gonna win. There's no way in heck that she's gonna win. We can put that. There's no way. That's who's gonna win. Not a single way. But she would lose to Vera. She'd lose to Allison. She'd lose to Geneva. No, not a single way. You can put that in the software right now. Put the total numbers in. She'd lose every single time. You might be thinking, well, I mean, with SSA backing, she went. No, look, the school is like a map, right? And SSA, all we have to do is play by the rules on the map. We have to play within the rules. We cannot remake the map of the school if we want to. It's not good policy to remake the map of the school, right? And in this map of the school, someone just didn't fall into the top 5, top 10. Sorry. Right? I mean, could we have remade the map of the school and essentially picked winners and losers all the time? Sure. But it's a lot easier just to play by the map of the school that's happened and still to advance SSA interest. For instance, when we tried to play outside the map of the school for Hazel, 1.0, what happened? She got nuked, right? She wanted to make her the new success for SSX. She didn't really want that, whatever. But she got nuked, and she didn't become a major power of the school, right? And we didn't stand there and be like, well, guys, we really need to back Hazel. No, we was like, no, we're just gonna keep Hazel here. We're gonna make sure that everything doesn't stymie completely out of control. But we're not gonna stand here and like run ad campaigns on GNN begging people, please look up to him, please. Like, I mean, look, you can't. No, that's not our job. What was the next thing? Oh yeah, so like I'm saying, we played by the rules of the map. You have JCAM, you have JVN, you have GCAM, you have JVN, you have in all the groups in the school, right? You have the president, you have Marling. And we played within the confines of those rules, and we won within the confines of those rules. And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? The school was like a map. We mapped it out. We mapped out everything that we needed to do, and then we did what we needed to do. So if we were trying to make some of the next president of Glory High, we'd have to look. We'd have to essentially make her popular, at least popular enough within GCAM and the other groups that you have to go to, and at least palatable enough within GCAM. Like, sure, could SA have potentially brokered peace between GCAM and JVN? Could SA have potentially, tried to change things for the better? Maybe, but would that have accelerated SSA interests? Probably not. Would that have made it safer and more prosperous and more secure? Would that have prevented GCAM, JVN, and more from turning into a full all-out war? Again, probably not. Right? And playing within the rules of the school makes it so much. If you just play within the rules that have been set before you, if you just look out at the rules, you look out at all the groups and the clubs, and the percentages and the statistics, then you can decide who to back. Like, one of the questions in here was like, what would happen if SSA had backed JV instead of GCAM? Essentially the same thing, except it was within SSA's best interest to back GCAM because we felt, well, I mean, it was within SSA's best interest to back GCAM, which, I mean, we've seen that. I mean, we have the Great Summit, right? Great Chase, etc. Because they were all allies within, student council. Okay, like you have the president on one side, and then you have every other person in power on the other side. Well, I'm going to choose the latter there, right? But I mean, if we ally with JVN, they probably still would have done well as well. I mean, they're pretty equally matched. They basically didn't shoot at each other or snipe at each other. And we did go to war with GCAM for like one day, provide intelligence to JVN just for one day, right? But Summers, she didn't fall within the confines of this, right? We could read the school, and we were reading it, and it was showing that GCAM was kind of faltering, and some of the people in GCAM were fine because they were vice president or kind of like a bridge between 10th grade GCAM, JVN. So some of those people were fine. Vice President Neva and Maria, but Summer, she wasn't really any of those things. So, no matter how hard that SSA would back, and no matter how much we could have promoted, we could have, if we wanted to, forced her onto student council, which is essentially do anyway. We could have potentially put her in the news videos or whatever. I mean, we could have done that. But look, the school probably wouldn't have wanted that, and they wouldn't have advanced SSA interest anyway. I mean, we can advance our interest with anyone that we wanted to. I mean, we don't need one person to do that. So we just play within the rules of the school. We pick the winners within the rules, within the map of the school, and we make sure that everything is safe. And that everything doesn't turn out into an all-out war. And that is what we did. Which is why Summer didn't become president, because we didn't back her, and she probably wouldn't have, even if we did. Because yes, SSA was the most powerful agency in the school. But we played by the map. We played by the rules. We didn't set the map. We didn't create the map. Now, there were some map creating events that we did as well. I mean, it's not, we made our mark on the map. Okay, we kind of changed the map a little bit, like the school would have changed, it didn't exist. But we changed the map. We didn't make the map. Say here, and I guess next time.